Hello, I'm Ravewood, and welcome back to my No Map, No Problem series. So we're picking up right where we left off in the last episode, and I need to go exploring to find where I want to start building a base at. Because my little tree house is turning into a tree village, and I need to make more space already. Because in my gearing up episode, I didn't build a mead kettle or a fermenter, and I kind of need those so that I can start making potions and playing with how the new brewing system works, because I haven't done any of that yet. So downside is I don't have enough copper for both. I can make the fermenter, but I think it's useless without the mead kettle. So yeah, we're gonna need to mine another copper vein, but that's a later problem. Current problem is we need to figure out which direction we're going and go find a base. Okay, so that way led to the water that we went to in the first episode. And if we go that way and then to the left, which is going to be this direction, down that way there was a swamp and dark forest. So I kind of want to start heading in that direction and try to make the base near the swamp, because, you know, we're going to need to be there eventually. We also have a mountain in that direction, so hopefully we can kind of be in between all of them. And I'm trying to remember, let's see, I think this way was east, so that way is north. Is that right? Yes. Pretty sure this way is north. Okay, important to remember for, you know, running off into the jungle. Alright. Let's go explore. Well, I'm already starting to reconsider how I'm going to go about this, because I've barely made it out to the first clearing where you can see the ocean. And looking at that, I'm betting that the swamp is actually further east rather than... yeah, east. Rather than to the north like I thought it was. So, that means I'm going to have to run around the water there, and it's going to take me away from the mountain, which is not exactly what I was hoping for, but I can deal. Now, the thing I didn't consider is I barely made it to the first opening area, like less than 2 minutes into the running through this, and my inventory is already almost half full. So I think I'm going to go back, grab my portal kit from over by the dark forest, and take that with me and establish a forward base, maybe somewhere over there on the other side of the water, where I can just kind of have a place to, you know, just have a forward operating base. Aw, I ran out of stamina right as I got up to you. You lucked out, dear. I just got over to my portal and checked the 2 chests here. I've got 6 more copper. That's exactly what I need to make the brew kettle. I mean, it'll give me a few more than I need, but still. Alright, time to run home and get some brewing going. I was just running home and thought, hey, those guys look like they're getting pretty tall. Let's go in here and check on them. My carrots are ready. Yes. New crafting recipes. It's been a while since I was recording last. I have been running down this coastline. This is like a dark forest beyond the dark forest that we saw in the first episode. And I don't know where the swamp is, but it's got to be off that way somewhere. But I ran into this dark or gray dwarf nest, and I figured, why not pacify it? And the way that you pacify it is, of course, digging a hole and kicking the 3 gray dwarves that spawned from the nest into the hole, and then they can't spawn anymore because the spawn cap for the nest is full inside that hole. Now it's safe to hang out around here and work, and I decided I'm going to leave a portal here. It's called Nest. It's very difficult to remember, and this is a potential spot to build a base. I mean, there's some fairly good land here. I haven't actually looked over that hill. What's on the other side of that hill? but it's got ocean access, it's got the Grey Dwarf nest that we could turn into a Grey Dwarf spawner farm. Don't see anything terribly important or terrible on the other side of this hill. So, this place has potential. It's probably the first real place that had any actual potential that I've ran across. Alright, I'm maybe a 20-second run down the coastline from where I was just at the Grey Dwarf nest, and I ran into this cool little bay. I like this place. This place has potential. I think this could be fun to build around the bay and have a nice little area here. But also there's this cool little shipwreck over here that would just add to the ambiance of the area. The fence would be a nightmare though. I'd be getting attacked by trolls all the time. Alright, I've just ran around the bay to the other side and found 2 buried crypts, which would be great if one of those has a skeleton spawner in it. We could have unlimited bone access and potentially be able to get the rancid remains trophy, which is one of the hardest ones I've ever had to try to get. And we have another spawner right over there, but I think I'm just gonna break that one because we already have one taken care of. I don't need the second one. But it's also getting pretty dark and hard to see for recording, so I'm gonna pop back home, empty out my nearly full inventory, and take a nap. Plus my rest buff is about gone. This is one of the coolest buried crypts I have seen. So if you go in this way and around, there's always these upstairs areas, but they almost always end immediately. But this has like multiple ways to go. These all dead end pretty quick. But then this one right here loops around and has another little dead end. Goes into a multiple directional hallway, and this is one that loops around to one of those little treasure hallways. And this other direction just went into this room over here with treasure. And not only do we have the shields on the wall, but somewhere, I think it's back downstairs, there are swords on the wall, which I hardly ever see. And if we go this way, go down this way, here we go, we got a skeleton spawner. An evil bone pile, it calls it. So, this area is looking really good to build in. Come on, go away, skeleton. On top of that, if we go back outside, there's this cool little, almost fully intact tower, which is always fun. And just up on the hill from it right there is another Grey Dwarf nest. And that one's elevated up high enough that we could dig a pit under it if we wanted to do one of the different styles of Grey Dwarf farms. So this place is really looking up for having a lot of potential to it. This dark forest that I've been running through has been going on and on and on. Like walking down the coastline for an hour level on and on and on. And I'm starting to wonder if I've gone around the edge of the continent. But we have finally emerged out the other side. We're gonna have to come back though and go explore this place and see if we can find the Elder in there. Because these enormous places like this are a great spot to find the boss markers. And I haven't been able to find the swamp that I saw. I swear I saw a swamp in the first episode. And it was down this way. But that is meadows, and it goes around, and then there's more black forest there that's really hard to see with the morning sunlight. And then you can see the coastline keeps going around and around, and then we're close enough that we can see the dark forest over there again. So we are in the end of a U-shaped section of the continent, and that does not bode greatest for this place being a base. Because I know that continent stretches down for a ways that way. Probably a ways past where I was thinking about building the base at. Because I could look out from there and see what I thought was an island. But now I'm starting to think it's more of this continent. In which case, this could be an enormous landlocked sea. That would be terrible. Definitely not a place where we want to build our base. Oh look, I think that's the mountain that we found next to our house. We're so far away. It is crazy how far we've come. But yet we're still directly beneath the Yggdrasil. As always. But we aren't going in the same direction anymore. Wait, we've been heading this direction the whole time. And land has us going south. So, we are definitely off the original direction. That's interesting in a I only know how to get back by running down the edge of the coastline sort of way. Alright, I'm gonna keep exploring, and at some point I'm gonna end up lapping all the way around this continent and back. But it's gonna take forever if that does stretch all the way down that way. Kind of tempted to just start running in this direction and see where I come out at. I swear, from back there, it looked like this landmass wrapped around and connected up to over there. But I'm at the northernmost tip now. There's no more wrapping to do. So it's all heading west and then probably back south, I guess. Oh, that also means this is absolutely an ocean, not a connected land or an inland sea, and that is absolutely a different continent over there. It has to be. I don't think that I ran around a big U shape. I know I didn't run around a big U shape. That has to be a different continent. Alright, off to head west. Okay, I just barely made it around the top. It did not go for very far heading to the west, and then it turned south again. And there was a tower right over there, and immediately the area started feeling familiar. And the tower had already been looted. And if I look along the shoreline here, there's no tin. And if I go down this way, there's no tin. This is where I was tin mining, which means I have to have looped all the way around the north side of the continent, and I'm heading back south. Not only heading back south, but close to where I was building. That's where I am. This is where I got the flying wood in the last episode where I broke the boat. Okay, now I know where I'm at. That means right over this way is where I mined the copper at. And that's why this place looks familiar. Okay, so I've gone around the whole northern side of the continent from spawn. Here we go. Here's my copper mine. Hey, quit knocking down my trees. What if I want to mine those? Oh, I am lucky that he was out of range there. Come on, blue boy. Can't see. Woo. Down tree. Obstacles are what make this fight difficult. So this is the second spot that I've thought about building at in the past, and I think it would be a fun place to build because it's very different from the flat or flattish lands that I usually build on, and so it really forced me to add a lot of verticality into my build with different levels going up the hills and just like building back onto itself as I expand and build up. Got a lot of positives to it. You know, there's definite access to copper over there with at least 4 copper veins in the area, plus I'm technically standing on one. Although I'd probably keep this intact as a place to build off of. There's a pretty good amount of room building up this hill too. And so there's a lot of potential and immediate ocean access. So that's great. There's also a lot of downsides, being, dark forest is going to be hard to defend. And it's going to be hard to build even like a wall around this. I can build one with a hoe, but I don't have that kind of stone yet. So it's all wood, which I don't have that kind of wood yet. And also, there's the potential for later on when I'm expanding up into the mountains. I could potentially expand up this way and make a castle. So a mountaintop castle would be fun. But we will see. I have to go explore up there to actually know what's up there, if that's possible. But all in all, it's definitely a place to keep an eye on. This episode ended up going for longer than I intended or expected, and so I'm going to split it up into 2 parts. So this is the end of the first part. We've explored the northern half of the continent, and in the next part we're going to go down and explore the south half. But in the meantime, in between running around, I've been doing a bunch of farming. I have fully moved up to carrot soup and deer stew. I've got a decent supply of carrots and stuff built up. And I've got this nice little farm of carrots here that I just harvested and replanted. It's got about 110 plants in it. And actually more than that, isn't it? Yeah. A little over 110 plants in it. And it is doing great for me. I've got lots of food going, and it should be pretty well set up. If you liked our running around and exploring in this episode, make sure to hit that like button and think about subscribing. And until I see you next time, have fun gaming. Goodbye.